Oh boy, the first Spike episode of the season. Okay, well, let me mentally prepare myself for the inevitable disappointment. Wait, this episode is titled Gauntlet of Fire. Well, that's a title that rivals Pinky Pride in terms of coolness, but I'm still not going to... Wait. This episode is being written by the same writers behind Rarity Investigates. Well, okay, that's sweet and all, and they've proven to be good to okay writers, but I'm still not going to... Wait. And this episode is going to have Spike venture to the land of dragons in order to compete for the title of Dragon Lord and a gauntlet filled with life or death situations. Okay, show, you got me excited for a Spike episode again. Just don't do what you did back in Season 2 or I'll never forgive you. With that said, let's go into Gauntlet of Fire. Rarity and Spike were gem hunting one day when Spike unexpectedly starts glowing. The princesses then explain that Spike is being called by the Dragon Lord and the only way to stop the glowing is to answer the call. So Spike, Rarity, and Twilight then venture into Dragonlands in order to attend the summons. Apparently, after serving his rule for so long, he has to renounce his title to someone else, so he calls the dragons from all across the land to compete in the Gauntlet of Fire. First dragon to get the Bloodstone Scepter from the Flame Kano and bring it back to him will become the next Dragon Lord. Because some dragons have plans to pillage or even destroy Equestria, Spike takes it upon himself to compete for the title and become Lord of the Dragons. Oh my goodness, this episode was great for Spike. He was in top form in this episode. From saving a dragon from drowning and showing great teamwork with the new character this episode, I think the best example is that the decision to take part of the gauntlet in order to ensure the ponies' safety is made by Spike's own choice. It's clear that Spike is at a strong disadvantage, which is even recognized by the Dragon Lord himself, and Spike was the first to say he wanted to leave. But after learning what the dragons plan to do when they become Dragon Lord and what it means for the ponies, he says that he will challenge the gauntlet, even if it means he can't return to his friends. Spike taking the initiative is always welcome. It's like he's the main character or something! What are the odds? Princess Ember is the new character introduced in this episode, and she's pretty cool. She kinda reminds me of a Disney princess. Being raised as a bona fide dragon, she demonstrates more traits similar to normal dragons, obviously different from Spike. She's headstrong and bold, but reckless and standoffish like other dragons. However, she's smart. She listens to reason and works with Spike despite her differences. The two form a believable partnership and a nice relationship. She wants to prove herself despite her size and what others, specifically her father, thinks of her. There's plenty of good action within this episode. We see the gauntlet in action with dragons getting pelted from the sky or getting crushed by diamond pillars. Specifically that dragon bully from Dragon Quest. Can we see that on repeat? It's like a game. We also get more lore about the dragons. Not much though. There's a Dragon Lord who all the dragons follow and have to compete for the title. Well, I'll take this over having dragons burp and belly flop onto pools of lava. At least this seems more interesting. Twilight and Rarity have a prominent presence throughout this episode, but they don't impact too much on the overall plot. They act more like onlookers over Spike's actions throughout the episode without having direct focus or interfering. Spike comes to them sometimes and they do lend their 2 bits to him, but not enough that they cede focus away from Spike. I think of them as a facet of the audience and other points of view for Spike. Although I have to wonder how they managed to get through most of the Gauntlet's challenges without injury and still remain incognito. I guess magic or something, they're both unicorns. Overall, this episode is pretty solid, but there are some things I want to point out. I mentioned that the dragons wanted to invade Equestria if they become the Dragon Lord, but I wonder, what's stopping them from doing so before? It's possible that there was some kind of agreement between the current Dragon Lord and the Pony Princesses, but it's very unclear. The Dragon Lord as well is not much of a character either. He seems protective of his daughter and has a reason for not taking on the rest of Equestria, but they never really establish why. He's just there to be a really big dragon and to initiate the gauntlet. However, to be fair, he does have some funny elements to him, like the running gag where he commands his fellow dragons to do certain actions, and has other lines that are funny as well, like the "I can crush him with his pinky claw" line. This may be a little bit nitpicky, but Princess Ember's turn from not helping Spike to actually helping Spike in the end of the episode, it could have shown a scene of her actually changing her mind, but which they just kind of skipped over. but it wasn't enough to deter from the actual scene. Plus it led into a cool action sequence, so I don't mind. Wow, the first Spike episode of the season, and it turned out to be rather good. Damn good, even. I love Spike in this episode. Princess Ember is a great character, and I would love to see her come back in a future episode. There's great action sequences, some fun dialogue, and some decent world building. I thought I would dislike a time when dragons would come back in a future episode, but now I'm looking forward to a time to see them again. Good on you, Spike. First episode of the season, and it was pretty solid. I'm proud of you, and I hope this continues. Gauntlet of Fire, the Dragon's Quest the world deserved, and I always wanted.